Hello everyone. Yeah, we had an eventful night at the house. So let me just get straight into the difficult part. So basically, me and my dad went to go see the house one night, and there was no cars or anything parked, but we heard this massive noise um, when we pulled up, and I was like, "Wow, somebody must be there." So I went up, and the door was locked. So I opened the door, and all I see was water gushing out the kitchen into the hallway. I was like, I just turned to, I froze. I turned to my dad. I was like, it's flooding. So obviously, dad just like goes into like hero mode, and he's just like diving in, and he's well, not diving literally, but runs into the house, and he grabs the valve, the shut off valve, and then does that, and we're just like, it was like just starting to go into the living room. So by the looks of it, it might have only been going for like 10-20 minutes. We got there just in time. And by the looks of it, after we got the pipe fixed and whatever, the person who fixed it was like, yeah, the thing inside one of the valves just like popped out of place. And it was like, oh, okay. But it was kind of like one of those days where everything just fell into place. It was so weird because, like, dad asked me if I wanted to go over to the house twice that day because we ordered lights. Well, I ordered lights and they arrived. No, I ordered blinds. We ordered the blinds and they arrived a day early, so dad kind of wanted to drop them off at the house. But the first time, was it like midday, I said no because mum wanted her nails done. I always do my mum's nails by once a month. She wanted her nails done that day, and I was like, okay, no, I promised mum, so I'll sit down with mum. And then I think around 5 o'clock ish, dad asked again, but mum was in the middle of cooking tea. So I was like, well, we'll wait. We'll go after you've had your tea and after you've had some chill time. So I think it was like 6:30 or something. We went over to the house, and we just heard this massive noise from inside the car, and it was just water gushing out the kitchen into the hallway. And it's like, because if we hadn't gone when we'd gone, nobody was due to be back at the house for 12 hours. That would have been, I don't even want to think about that. I do not want to think of how much water that would have been in 12 hours, because it was full on. It was full pressure water gushing out that pipe. It was just, oh my gosh. So thankfully it was only like 10-20 minutes. Dad was like, because also the other thing is because the kitchen hadn't been finished yet, there was actually still a gap right below the pipe down under into the front garden, like where underneath the grass, I guess. So all the water was actually funneling into that hole instead of like all of it coming into the house. So yes, okay, it was starting to go into the living room, but the majority of it was going down into that hole. And dad was like, oh my gosh, he just like grabbed a piece of wood and just started shoveling the water back down the hole. And then it was like, how far did that put us back? But by the next morning, it was dry. We got so much of the water out in like half an hour, and then the next day it was dry, and they were working on the kitchen again. It was like, and the other thing is, that isn't actually the worst flood I've experienced in my life. That is the second flood that I've experienced in my life, and I use flood very, very lightly because it was obviously a flood because a pipe burst, but that was like the best case scenario ever. Because in my old house, a pipe burst, but that's a long story. But it was just like, I froze. I don't know where anything was or like what to do or anything. So like, when we got home that night, I was like, the first one I said to dad, I was like, you know what, we deserve brownies. So we went into the kitchen and we made brownies. And I was like, because my parents were going to go away for that weekend as well. I was like, Dad, where's the emergency water valve in this house? I need to know now. I need to know where all the valves are and stuff. He was like, yep. So he showed me and I was like, right, okay. And then, because obviously it was an emergency pipe that needed to happen. Well, not an emergency, because obviously there was a valve, but it was just the other spout that kind of like burst. But the next day it was already done, and it was like a nice new valve that got put in, and it's like, this is exactly the same as what we've got, just, and it's off. And this will do it for the entire house. I was like, right, okay. So if there's anything bursts, I know where to go in the future. So that was very eventful. That's not what I needed, but it worked. Again, it was the best case scenario because the kitchen had like somewhat been started, so like the base cupboards had been put in, just the shells. So the pipe was within a shell, so it was like burst inside a cabinet and then onto the floor. Whereas if that cabinet wasn't there, it would have been all over the kitchen. So we only lost one cupboard shell, which was replaced the next day, thankfully. But if that kitchen was done, it would have ruined the kitchen. So, on to better news. Popped in today. So the kitchen is now officially like getting put in fully now. The worktops were like 90% done. So hopefully today, tomorrow, the kitchen will be getting done. The bathroom was also getting finished today as well. So the bathroom will hopefully be finished Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then the fitted wardrobes will be getting started hopefully Thursday, Friday. So essentially this week that I'm recording, so much is hopefully going to be getting done. They also want to put the radiators on this week as well. So it is looking like full steam ahead now. And then I think the next week it'll be like finishing touches, the floors, and painting and decorating. And then we can move. Which is exciting times. We also have the internet provider going in next week as well, so hopefully that's all sorted by the time we get there. But I'm very excited. It's getting there. Me and my partner are very, very excited. We've been doing a lot of buying things ready for moving in. I've been doing so much packing. But yeah, when we get like the okay to kind of start moving in, we are like going for it, basically. So we're very, very excited, and we are so close to that next chapter of our lives now. Because after we move out, that means we can start planning the wedding. I'm so excited. But yeah. So no video of the house this time, I'm afraid. Choose to video the flood. I was kind of just in a panic mode and getting the water out of the house. But I do plan, hopefully I can get some more recordings and pictures and whatnot at the end of this week. I think that would be very nice. That would be very, very good. But yeah, it is very much coming together. And I am very, very excited. So, as always, I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Even though I've been talking about my house flooding. But there we go. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.